threw down in the latest tournament for my own trading card game, Elestrals, to see who could take on and beat the creator of the game. For this event, I used one of my favorite cards of all time, my X of 25 serialized Stellar Posthumoose, of which only 25 copies of this beautiful card are ever made. The cool thing about this card is it completely shuts your opponent down. So let's see if we can do just that. Going into this tournament, I had 3 primary goals. The first one was to have fun. It's been a while since I played paper Elestrals. Despite the fact that I create the game, I often spend a lot of time testing future sets, and I've been really itching to play the current metagame for sure. So we want to have some fun. The second thing I'm aiming to do is to get my Gambit onto the field and flip heads to destroy something epic. Gambit is a brand new Elestral that has a coin flip effect, the only one in the game, and when you land heads, it is incredibly powerful. When you land tails, it's pretty lackluster. And our third goal for the night was to cast my amazing Posthumoose and have it ultimately secure victory for us in this event. If you're interested in playing in these events, it's totally free to sign up for our casual Tuesday night tournaments in our Discord server, discord.gg/Elestrals. Again, these events are free. You just need a webcam. I'll have a link in the description below to a webcam guide, and you can hang out with the community and learn the game and have some fun. Starter decks are totally welcome. It's a super chill experience. It's very casual and laid back, and you may even get matched up against me. All right, let's do a quick deck breakdown here of all the things that I was bringing for this week. Kicking it off with our Posthumoose Stellar. Again, this card is a beauty. Only 25 of them. One of my most prized cards. I just love it. But it's a masterful card in combat because it shuts down opponents' effects and it can actually heal you when paired with Artemis. So just so strong. We've got our Fawnlets here. I've been a Fawnlet enjoyer for a long time. A lot of people don't realize this not only serves as your Divine Searcher for Artemis, but it can search Theraheart as well, which is a key strategy. You'll often find yourself doing that early to mid game, so we love that. And then we've got our 2 Therahearts here. This is one of my favorite cards in the set and just a really powerful card, and I love this artwork as well. But 6/6, good stat line, and it can search out a lunar counter every turn, giving you immediate access to Rise from the Shadows and Deadshot, which are the 2 cards we're going to talk about next. Deadshot, I'm not super sold on its effectiveness yet. When it works insanely well. When it doesn't work, it feels like a dead card. So that's the only downside. So I'm only running 2 of those. We can search those out, but we do run 3 Rise from the Shadows, one of the strongest cards that Lunar can run right now. Again, when it works, this card is insane. Basically a free special cast. This allows you to get your Gambits back. It allows you to get your Spectres back. Allows you to get any of your Elestrals back to be able to set up for Ascension plays, which is really important. And if you can pair that with Theraheart, you can put yourself in a situation where Theraheart, if it sticks for a turn, you get your Rise from the Shadows. If they finally get a chance to eliminate it, you just bring the Theraheart right back. Very strong. We've got 2 Artemis here. We only need 2 because we've got the 3 Fawnlet to search them, but this can shut down opponents' Divine Runes and also just shut off effects to pair nicely with our Specterus. Comalis is a nice searcher. This allows me to get access to my Posthumoose, so it effectively gives me 2 additional copies of Posthumoose by being able to search it out with its effect. We could also search out Gambits and Specterus as well if we're looking for something a little bit more low to the ground. Then we've got our Werepup strategy, the dreaded Like a Void, of course. Werepup searches out Full Moon, which is very powerful, and obviously turbos into Like a Void, which can then swarm the field with many Werepups, and then allow you to turbo ascend into Posthumoose or Therahearts, which create a really good dynamic for your deck. And then we've got the 2 Lunar Phases here, Lunar Phase Full Moon and Lunar Phase Lunar Eclipse. This one shuts off and destroys runes based on the number of Lunar Elestrals. Very easy to get 2 Lunar Elestrals on the field with this deck. And then Full Moon will enable our turbo on my opponent's turn, but also allow me to get additional spirits on my field to utilize Temple of the Moon a little bit more effectively. Specterus is poised very well in this current metagame because of Like a Void. This gets a buff for every one of the suppressed Werepups on the field and allows you to hit over the Like a Void very effectively, but also it's just a really good threat. It just gets rid of a lot of things, shuts off their effects, and can be really advantageous to just have some Spectres. So we've got a couple of those. And then I'm a massive Gambit enjoyer. I love this card. Not only do I love its art and the holo and the stellar, but I love the effect. It's super fun. It's a 4/4, so a good stat line, and you can utilize it to coin flip and destroy threats. They heal if you miss, but if you hit 50% of the time, it creates such a tempo swing, it's crazy. And with Rise from the Shadows, you can bring it back and use it as an Ascension, or just be really annoying. And honestly, like, if you told me I get a flip 1 and destroy something, and then I miss and they heal 1, like, you're still netting out ahead if you only land 1 out of every 2 coin flips in a game, if you can get 2 coin flips out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when you hit something big, it's just crazy removal. And then we've got 2 Gloombats here. I think this card is a sleeper right now. This is one of the strongest cards in my opinion, because everyone is setting 2+ back row. This thing is always live. You can easily special cast it out, and then you can turbo ascend into Theraheart, or you can immediately pressure divine runes or face down runes, so just very strong. Then moving into some of our rune suite, I'm just running 2 Ambrosias. I've got those stained glass ones. They're pretty wicked, actually. We've got an Earthquake here, which is just really good removal. We've got 2 Temple of the Moons to buff our lunar guys. Very good if we're facing off against anything that's not lunar. And then we've got 3 Gorgon's Gaze, pretty standard stuff there, just to shut off effects. 2 Shield of Achilles, very useful, just to protect our guys, bounce their big guys back. Always a nice tool. And then we're actually running 2 Pandora's Box. I'm not running Poison Tipped Arrow in this deck. I am running the Pandora's Box. I think shutting down the Searchers in this game right now are really important. This shuts down Werepup and a multitude of other things. Aphrodite, Foamies, so many things it can shut down. So I think Pandora's Box is just a really strong threat right now. And then our spirits are pretty simple. I'm running 16 Reverse Hollow Owloons. Love these, been collecting these. And then I've got 2 Tyratlus for our Earthquake. I've got a Fleurmine of Pyro. This is for Ice Age Cryoblast options, as well as, Eruption. The only thing I'll note is you probably would maybe swap out the Fleurmine for a Leviathan if you really wanted to be more mindful of Tsunami to allow your Lycovoid to play around Tsunami a little bit better. But generally speaking, this is what you're rocking with, and I love this deck. My round 1 opponent is a player by the name of Carlos Dark. I kicked this one off with a Werepup and happen to have both full moons at my disposal. My opponent does the same and immediately threatens my 3 back row with their Eclipse. I lose my Rise from the Shadows, but luckily I had a Gorgon's Gaze to stop the Werepup and shut it down. I shotgun and end phase my full moon to go into my Lycovoid myself when my opponent doesn't have an opportunity to respond. This allows me to flood the field with my Werepups and my Lycovoids, and of course I shut his down on the prior turn. I cast Lunar Eclipse, the same move that he tries to make to destroy his entire back row, but he fires off a full moon of his own, and we have the craziest mirror match of all time as we're both staring down Lycovoids and Werepups all over the field. Fortunately for me, I had a Spectrus in my hand, and because it was my second turn, I was able to cast it to the field and outpace his Lycovoid with a massive 9 attack stat because of all of the suppressed Elestrals on the field. I really think Spectrus is going to be a key card to watch in the Lycovoid meta, as it is one of the things that can take it out and deal with a lot of the other threats in the game. From there, Carlos wasn't able to bring his powerful Locagon to the field, and we take our first game of the night. No Gambit, no Posthumoose, but we definitely had fun. Lycovoid's a bit crazy, but that was a hilarious way to open up our night. Before hopping into round 2, I decided to show off some demo decks that we just had made. These are going to be coming to stores very soon, and the best part is all of the cards are totally legal, and the decks are free for the stores and for the players. This is going to be a great onboarding opportunity for us to get new players to try Elestrals. So if you have a local game store near you, stay tuned for our brand new updated demo decks. Round 2, we threw down against Dr. Barber, who mentioned his love for Krakatuga, and as a fellow Burn enjoyer, I was already a fan of his already. However, I was very nervous that he was going to bring Burn against me. I lead this one off with my Stellar Fawnlet, allowing me to search out my Stellar Artemis. I just can't help but bling out these decks. I love it. He drops a Werepup, but luckily for me, I have Gorgon's Gaze again. It's just that simple. This card is no problem. I turbo into my Theraheart and snag a Rise from the Shadows, but he hits me with a Poison Tipped Arrow, which is going to slow down my push. The key here is oftentimes you want to have the Rise ahead of time, so that way if you get arrowed, you can just Rise it back. Unfortunately, I was not prepared for this moment, but I did set myself up for a future play. I do go Temple of the Moon, which is going to make my Lunar Elestrals even stronger. Understand that there's a chance that they can match that as well, but I'm going to go and get out my Gambit, and this is my chance to land the coin flip and go 2 out of 3 today, except I miss, and he just heals up. Fortunately for me, though, I was able to get my Spectrus to the field, and it was way too strong for him to deal with, and we're going to take this game pretty easily at that point, moving to 2-0 on the night. So we miss our Gambit flip, but he's looking for redemption. Game 3 is a doozy. Round 3, I was stoked to see Swolax as my opponent. He's one of the most decorated players in Elestrals history and one of our commentators for many of our online premiere events. He's come in top 3 and top 8 in so many tournaments. I knew this was going to be a good challenge, and honestly, that's one of the reasons I like playing these casual nights. He kicks this one off with a huge Ardbud play, and he's going to be able to get some searches off and start to set up his combo for his Ant Titan. I catch him off guard with my Gloombat, and we have a really good discussion about how this is a super good sleeper card that I think a lot of people are missing right now that is very powerful in a lot of different ways, especially for the Lunar deck. He lands a big Gorgon's Gaze on my Werepup, and you might see this theme. 3 games in a row, a Werepup gets Gorgon's Gaze. This card is just Gorgon's Gaze bait. That's going to put me in a pretty rough spot, though. The next turn, Swolax goes for the big play to ascend into his Aardvarm and shut me down. I ultimately make a big mistake by not firing my full moon soon enough, and I get caught suppressed. And this is kind of a pretty rough ruling error on my part. Professor Swolax is going to take me to school, but not all hope is lost. I think if I was a little bit more attentive, I would have identified that he had the poison tipped arrow in hand already, and I should have played my full moon just a smidge bit earlier, but you live and you learn. Now is when I draw my savior, Gambit, who is ready to hit the field and land a heads in big fashion. And there it is! Gambit comes through to take out the Aardvark, a massive coin flip when I need it most. From there, we trade Elestrals back and forth, but I wasn't able to get enough momentum at that point, and he's gonna take the win. I'm definitely looking forward to our next clash. We may have taken a loss there to Swolax, but the fun factor was through the roof, and we landed a Gambit heads on the Aardvark. You can't ask for a better game than that. Oh, and because I have a big mouth, I totally leaked a brand new Elestral card while I was just chatting with Swolax. Enjoy Drakid, Champion of Poseidon. We're currently sitting at 2-1, and we're about to throw down against LOL Bobfish in round 4. We have one more round to land our Posthumoose and call tonight a total success. Can we do it? I kick things off with a Werepup like we so often love to do, and I happen to be able to Gorgons his Werepup on the clapback. That's 4 games in a row where a Werepup got Gorgons gazed. This opens me up to the massive Lycovoid board and the perfect chance to make our dreams come true. I cast my Artemis and ascend my Werepup into my Posthumoose, Champion of Artemis, our X of 25 serialized Stellar. We've officially done it, and with Posthumoose and Artemis on my field, my opponent's Elestrals are all suppressed, which means they have no effect. And every time a suppressed Elestral is destroyed, I get to heal 3 Lunar Spirits. So here's the thing, I don't even need to attack with my Posthumoose, and because I'm predicting a face down Shield of Achilles, I go on the onslaught with my Lycovoid and my Werepups, and I hold back my attacks with Posthumoose to force my opponent to have to deal with it. They Gorgons gaze in the next turn my Posthumoose to cast out a Werepup and make one final attempt at swarming the field. But fortunately, our Pandora's box comes in handy, and I shut down the search of the Werepup. The next 2 turns, our Posthumoose completely shut him down, and we're able to take the win and finish the night 3-1. It turns out he had a face down shield after all, so we made the right play in holding off our attack. My return to Casual Tuesdays was a huge success. We finished 3-1, we got our Gambit coin flip, we had a ton of fun, and Posthumoose hit the field and completely dominated. If you want to join me for our next casual event, December 30th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, in the Discord server, discord.gg/Elestrals. Starter decks are welcome, throw something together. Don't worry too much about how well you do. It's really about us all just hanging out and having a good time. I would love to see you there. We got a webcam guide in the description below. And stay tuned for more updates. Thanks for all the games. I can't wait to see you guys. I'm bringing Barra Boss on Tuesday.